Tell me about yourself.
Yeah, sure. Hi everyone. Happy New Year's Eve. My name's Molly. Thanks for having me here. I'm currently a graduate student at Northeastern University, majoring in computer science. And before I came to Northeastern, I got my bachelor degree of computer science as well. So as you can see, I came from an engineering background. But during my undergraduate time, I spent a lot of time on exploring my career interest because I feel like I'm more enjoying working with different people rather than just sitting in front of computer and coding all day. So at the first place, I joined the online education organization called SWE as a community manager. So at that time, I did a lot of community running and also community activity designing. That's where I built up my communication skills and with the customers. And then after that, since I studied computer science, so I also joined the data analysis department to give some learn to use Tableau to do some data analysis and data visualization for the community so that we can provide some data insights for other cross-functional teams. And yeah, and that's where I build up my data-driven mindset to make decisions, which also contribute to my later product manager work. Yeah, and after that, I joined a startup company called ADA Technology as a product manager intern. I was there responsible for an internal product called Data Dashboard, which provide some data and metrics for the closing company's employees, like the sales and managers. And that's where I learned some basic skill set as a product manager, like using Extra to do product prototyping and also working with cross-functional teams or planning roadmaps. And that's where I find my true passion. So I find, oh, that's the job position I've been looking for so long. I can use my technical background and also working with the customer and also working with different cross-functional teams. And then after that, because of the COVID, I have to find another intern before I came to study for my graduate degree. I chose to join a bigger tech company called Tech as a product manager. So I was there responsible for an app called All-in-One application, which provides health code service and some online COVID-19 related service. And at that time, I got more hands-on experience for product management and also learn to use some product management tools like using Jira and Cornerstones. And yeah, and that's why and then after that, I'm pretty determined to become a product manager as my career goal. And that's why I'm here to interview for the product internship role at Red Hat.
Amazing background. Could you tell me about a time that you work with different stakeholders?
Yeah, for sure. So that question made me remind of the time that I work at the Aflac Tech. So I remember the first time that my mentor gave me independent task to do the optimization for the secure login of the app because our app has a lot of very personal information, and we want to improve the security of our app, and we want to add some features for our app to provide some security ways for the users to log in. And after before I jump in, I planned several meetings with different teams, like different stakeholders, like the UI designers and also the engineers. I heard them different opinions with them, but the problem I ran into is that different stakeholders give different opinions about this product, and they have different concerns. Like the software engineers have different concerns from the technical aspect. Like if we adding different ways for the users to log in, it may have longer time for the user to open our app and also show the health code, because like right now people use health code all the time. They need to like show their health code right away, and the time you open our app is very crucial, and that's the thing they're concerned. And also for our like UI designers, they also think about like for different user groups, they might have different type of like phones. They have to like for Android phones and also iOS based phones, they might have to like different designs, and they also have different concerns as well. So I like wrote down all their like suggestions and concerns, and then jump into my design of this feature design. And then, yeah, I applied their suggestions and concerns into my design, and gave out an initial design of this feature, and then had another meeting with them to see how they feel about this product design, and do they want to change anything or have any concerns as well. So yeah, and that's where I learned to work with different stakeholders and work with cross-functional teams as a product manager.
Could you tell me the methodology that you adopt when you communicate with different stakeholders or different like cross-functional teams? And have you ever faced conflicts, and how did you solve it?
Yeah, for sure. So the methodology that I applied for as a product manager is that I would like to listen to their opinions first before I jump into designing it. So I would like to write down and document their opinions, and then like definitely when you are designing a product, you definitely cannot apply everybody's opinions. You definitely can apply like several of their opinions. You need to make trade-offs. And I remember there's one time I had like when I was designing a product, I have a different opinion with the UI designer because we had a very tight deadline that the UI designer suggests that we should just use a template that we have for the last time, so that we can save a lot of time. But I insisted that we should like design a new like a totally new design user interface for this product. And then I know like his concern that we probably don't have enough time for this product, but I feel like this product, if we use a template, it won't give the user a good user experience. So what I did that time is I asked him like if I can have another UI designer to help you, if it's like fine for you that we can like have extra support from others so that we can complete this design. Does that sound good to you? And then he agreed with that. And I talked to my manager and asked about the UI managers as well, and find out there's another UI designer has time for that, so that they can work on that together. And then at the end, they worked on the designing together, and they deliver the UI design on time at the end. Yeah.
Could you tell me about a time that you analyze make a product decision based on your data analysis?
Okay, for sure. That made me remind of the time actually when I was working at SWE. We were designing like launching a product that to like for the user acquisition, and we are trying to predict how many new users that we're gonna have during this new campaign. And we actually don't have enough data to predict that, because we want to predict that like what the what's the community size gonna be look like, and we want to like control that size. So yeah, we don't have enough data for that, but we look at some other data like how many users have been has like read our this like a campaign articles, and also how many users have joined our like pre-sessions like to learn about this community and would like to pay for this product. And yeah, we use this metrics and to try to predict it, like how many users at the end would join our community and would like to pay for our product. So yeah, and then we give a prediction like number for the size of our community, and yeah, and we made that use that number for our final decision.
Okay. Couldn't explain cloud security to your grandma?
Okay, that's a very great question. So talking about cloud security, I want to ask some clarification questions. So when you're talking about cloud security, is some specific software or some is a system or something like you are specifying like specific like software or something?
No, it's not a specific software, but just to explain this term to your grandma. Maybe your grandma gets up and just sees some like cloud security news on TV, then probably she just like call you and say, what is cloud security? And what are you going to explain to her?
Okay, that's a great question. Okay, so talking about cloud security, I would like to myself, I would like to understand what is the cloud security. I would like to know about the definition by myself so that I can better explain it to my grandma. By Google cloud security, we can see that cloud security is a discipline of cybersecurity dedicated to securing cloud computing systems. So as a computer science background student, though I study a lot of like computer science related knowledge, but I didn't dive into a lot about cloud security. But by looking at those terms, we can get some like key terms like the keeping data private and safe across online based infrastructure. So that will like make me think about like what my grandma will use like the cloud security based product, like my talking to my grandma, she doesn't really use smartphone, but she would watch TV and she would use Alexa at home. So Alexa will be on sometimes use Google and also some online information. And sometimes like Alexa will listen to what you are talking about, like recording your conversation. So I probably will use that as a breaking point to talk to my grandma. So I will explain to my grandma as that when you're like, for example, when you're using Alexa, like to ask Alexa, like how can I cook this meal with potato or tomato? So yeah, and Alexa will like recording your question, and also so probably will like upload it to like the cloud and then to a cloud base, and probably somebody else will for commercial purpose, they will like store that they will like try to get that data, and then they will know that, oh, like this person who use Alexa like to cook like cooking, and also they purchased potato and tomato recently. So I will like explain to my grandma that, oh, probably somebody else know that you purchased a tomato and tomato recently, and they probably will pop up some like advertisement on your TV, like if you use the same system. That's kind of creepy because like it's kind of like leak your privacy to others. That's what's called like cloud security. Yeah.
What do you think of your answer?
I think I'm like too nervous. I think I did generally good on the self-introduction part, but like for the behavior question is like like lost my mind several times.
I can feel you have prepared your self-intro. You tackle the bullet points one by one from the job description, and you specifically talk about that you have a tech background and why product management, and also your previous experience and how you design the roadmap and how you work with different people. So that is the great part. And something you mentioned in one of your answers, I asked you how you collaborate with different stakeholders, and you mentioned about health code. I think for that you might need explanation to your interviewer.
Oh, okay.
Because not all of your interviewers were coming from China, so maybe you need an explanation.
Okay.
And also, if you get a question from the interviewer asking you how did you collaborate with different stakeholders, they want to know how what you've experienced before and what you can use and what are the learnings you get from the previous experience and leverage the experience to your future communication. So one thing I didn't see from your answer is you didn't form a methodology to communicate with each other, with others, and you didn't tell me the step-by-step you're going to do when you communicate with different stakeholders. And from the job description, you can see that they talk about working with a team of researchers, designers, front-end developers, and collaborate with designers, product managers, researchers, technical writers, and other product group stakeholders. So you might want to talk about your previous experience working with these stakeholders and how you want to communicate with them in the future. So this is the first thing, because like the first answer you gave me is more like how you come up with a product decision, how you work through this whole process. It is more like a very product driven answer instead of telling me how is your collaboration style.
Okay.
So that is the first feedback. And the second one, when I asked you the conflicts that you have, you talk about your conflicts with your designer, and you talk about how you involve more resource to solve the problem. One other thing you might want to add is how this single decision also affect other stakeholders as well, right? It is only a designer's work, where it will also add a technical effort from the engineering effort from the engineering team, right? So what are the stakeholders that you might want to sync up with, and how did you follow up with this conflicts?
Okay.
And for the data analysis question, you might want to prepare for it and maybe think about a previous experience that might answer this question, because you can see from the job description that they want you to build internal and analytics tools and turn raw data into actionable insight. So they might ask you questions about data analytics and how you form your product insight.
Okay.
In terms of explaining cloud security to your grandma, this is a very typical question from Google-like interviews. So the reason why I'm asking you this is, if you see from the job description, there is one bullet point calling create external content like technical demos, blogs, how-to videos, and articles. So the things that you've done in your team is very technical, and you probably do not want to talk like a product manager, or like talk to the external audience, just like the way that you talk with your internal stakeholders. So that's why I'm asking you this question. How do you want to explain a technical term to maybe an audience that have no idea what you're talking about? So first, cloud security is cloud security. You don't need to add more pressure to yourself. Like you are coming from computer science background, so you might have a sense of what a cloud security is like. So don't add more pressure. And it is good that you analyze your grandma's behavior. But first, I think you add complexity when you talk about your grandma use Alexa. Because this is more like Internet of Things. And your grandma might not think about cloud when you talk about Alexa. So maybe first explain what is cloud and what are the services provided by a cloud service, maybe cloud storage, cloud computing, and you can use Alexa as an example, but do not like talk about Alexa like it's the whole story because it does not equal to cloud. And security is just like the techniques that we use to prevent the hackers from stealing your data. So you can talk about like you can use Alexa as an example, but definitely need to explain cloud first to your grandma and then talk about what is cloud security.
Okay.
Any more questions?
Yeah, I thank you. Like, thank you so much for the question and feedback. I think, yeah, it's super helpful.
But I really like how you communicate. To emphasize that, like you just came here for like half a year, and I really like how you use English to communicate with others, and great job on that one. Any other questions from the audience? Because I've already told you guys that we're using English feedback, so I'd expect the English questions as well. No questions.
Like everyone else is like preparing for the new year.
If no other questions, happy new year to you guys, and I will stop the recording first.